Welcome back, everyone, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and we're going to be talking about several things today. First, we're going to talk about Bitcoin pumping. We're going to talk about some new NFTs and my thoughts on the NFT market. We're going to also talk about ORN and staking. We don't know what the returns on that will be yet. In fact, they have a competition that if you can guess what it could be, you can win some ORN. With them being at like $8, meh. Nice. Win some nice rewards, and we will be talking about the market in general and my thoughts on when to take profits. We've had some of the users asking, when do we take profits? So I want to talk about my thoughts on how I will be taking profits, and hopefully that helps you. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, just a investor myself. Only 4 years in crypto and 20 years prior to that in real estate investing, but just 4 years in crypto. So these are my thoughts. I didn't do this the first time around, is because when things were going up, everyone said, this time is different. Wow, it's going to keep going up longer. This cycle is different, and now everybody's catching on and it's never going to go down. And then it did, and all the altcoins went down 95 to 99.5%. Bitcoin did retrace just 85%, which seems like not very much compared to what altcoins did. Although that was a disastrous time to be holding Bitcoin too. So I'll give you my thoughts on that. First, let's talk Bitcoin is just going wild. It is absolutely pumping. It broke through, let's go to the 1 hour chart, broke through the... this time after it broke through 50,000, it bounced off of the 50,000 mark and is absolutely gone wild now. Now someday 55,000 will seem very, very cheap. It seems like a whole heck of a lot, even if you bought in 2017 and you paid $19,400. If you held it to today, you're pretty darn happy. Over 2x, and you would have bought it right at the top. If you bought any time after that or before that, you did exceptionally well. All right, the overall market cap is absolutely crazy. I mean, think about how high we are here. It is ridiculous as far as numbers. Bitcoin being over $1 trillion. People said that could never happen, and yet it's here and happening. All right, big in the news today and yesterday is some Street Fighter cards. Yay! Now, I don't know about you, but first of all, I think Ethereum and NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain are so yesterday. So a lot of stuff is moved over to Wax and some other blockchains because they're much faster. And Wax is kind of dominating this space, and they released some Street Fighter cards, which of course I had to get some, because I grew up in the era where Street Fighter, the big game, Street Fighter 2, I used to spend quarters playing it. What a terrible investment, but I had a lot of fun. So I'm going to actually open up one of those and see what that looks like. All right. I have no idea. This is the first one I've done. I don't know how it all goes. Uh-oh. I guess it's probably figuring out things still. I don't know if I'm supposed to press that button. Ooh, here we go. Okay. Now, I'm a collector by nature, an investor, and I like to use my money smartly, although playing Street Fighter 2 at a quarter every time was not the best use of my money. Though I did start back then investing in baseball cards. Going back to NFTs, this leads right into baseball cards. Now, I started collecting baseball cards right at a point that they started printing off a ton of all the baseball cards. And so those baseball cards aren't worth much more today than they were 25 years ago. And the reason is there was no limited supply. Even though it cost money to print those off, they printed off so many and sold them, there was no scarcity. So one of the things as you're investing in NFTs, I know it's all the hype right now, and I like NFTs. Obviously, I bought some. Number one, it's first series of something that I love, which was Street Fighter 2, and so I don't mind buying Series 1 on something that I think might do well. Secondly, but it is a speculative thing, and there's some emotional tie here. But I do want to talk about scarcity, because scarcity is such an important factor. Now, there's all this buzz that NFTs are the greatest things ever. Now, I get that sometimes they are and they can be. But when you can just make 1 billion NFTs and there's very little cost of making them, just know that really the ones that will do well are the ones that people want to own and hold 10 to 20 years from now. And it's not clear what that's going to be. And so a lot of the things, well, there's two things that I see happen with collectibles. Sometimes the ones that do the very best actually don't have much of a cost. It's just early on and nobody has much anticipation for it. And it ends up getting like a cult-like following. And so it does really well. The second type of NFT that I think will do really well is ones related to games. Like the Axie Infinity Genesis Land. Boy, I remember I bought like a bunch of Axie Infinity Land hoping, because it was random. If you buy Mystic plots or whatever, you have like a 1 in 100 chance or whatever it was to get a Genesis plot. Which then they just sold, I think, 11 Genesis plots or something. Sold for a record amount in over $1 million. And so Axie Infinity Land has done really well because the game has had a lot of adoption because you can actually play that game and earn money. So if you're in a third world country where the living wage doesn't take much in order to have a living wage, you can make money by earning small love potions and selling those off for Ethereum and literally make money playing a video game, which is a fantastic concept. Who wouldn't love to make money playing a video game? And they really, Axie Infinity took that and encapsulated it, which is why the land is doing so well, because the game has had a lot of adoption because of that. So then people are speculating on the value of that land. Now back to the scarcity thing. Part of the reason I sold off all my Axie Infinity land is because they had only sold so far 1/4 of the total map. And my worry with holding those pieces of land was, what happens if the developers then release another 1/4 of the land? All of a sudden the value of what I was holding and what I could sell it for would just go way down. We don't know what they're going to ask for those prices when they eventually put them up for sale, and I haven't heard that they're not going to put it up for sale. So as you're thinking about NFTs, think about what is the utility of it. Is there a video game that's doing well that it's tied to that might have some really real good value? Because I love the tie between crypto and video games and the fact that you can own these items. Imagine if World of Warcraft had done that, or if EVE Online had done that, or if Star Citizen, which is an upcoming MMORPG, would do something like this. It would be out of this world popular because you can actually own the item and not have the value trapped, which is what a lot of video game developers try to do, is trap the value. So you can't really extract that value, so it incentivizes you in their thoughts to continue playing the game. Now, I know most video game creators are not super excited about non-trapped value. In other words, you could come and play a game and spend thousands on it, and then when you're done playing the game, sell that off to other people and extract the value back out. They don't love that idea because they'd rather sell those items, new items that are exactly like that, to other people and be able to get all that value themselves. But all it takes is a few video games really hitting it out of the park with NFTs and other things they're given that people can then sell. And then video game makers will have to adopt that or they'll become irrelevant. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that come into play. As an investor and a collector myself, I love that kind of stuff. I did have some fun making some money EVE Online years ago. I was actually, way back when I played it in 2003, one of the richest single players in the game, and had a lot of fun making some actual real money playing that game. Alright, so did a video earlier today on ORN, which is the Orion Protocol, which is an aggregator exchange that can aggregate all the other exchanges and dexes, which will be interesting. So that, say you want to buy a token, say XRP, and I'm just saying XRP because it's so unpopular with people now, but probably will have its day coming up. But you want to buy XRP, you don't have to figure out which exchange to go get it on and which has canceled it. You can come on here and it aggregates all these different exchanges, so literally one spot to be able to buy it. Or a new token that just launched on Uniswap, but you want to make sure that you're getting the right version of it. You can come here and bam, you'll be able to buy it. which will be phenomenal. So they had a really big announcement with their partnership with DuckDAO. Check out that video. I really think that's a lot bigger than just what it would seem. I think that's a way that they can start onboarding a lot of users that are involved with incubator projects. Very excited about that. But if you did buy some ORN, I wanted to show you staking. Now, if you go to your KuCoin login and then you find staking and go to that, it will take you, you can go to the Pool X staking. I want to show you how it works. Now, I picked up some more ORN today and when I read that announcement, and then I went back and sold something else and picked up some more. I wanted to show you how the ORN staking works. Well, there you go. They're running a big thing saying how much will ORN staking be, and I don't know, maybe that's the answer. And you can win some ORN if you guess that right. I wonder if that's what the answer is. So I'm not even going to put in an entry so you guys can have the opportunity to win it. I don't know if that's what the number will be, but let me show you. Okay, it's showing 0 ORN here, and that's because I haven't moved it over. So I want to take it from the trading account to there, and I'm going to click here. So I'm going to move over 339. All right, and so that will show the lockup history. So I've got 1,400 roughly staked in there and hopefully earning 21%, which is fantastic. This one I'll probably just hold till January or February, which we will talk about timing in a little bit. Now, I do a lot of looking back at 2017, trying to figure out what to expect, and it gives us a little bit of indications, but what's hard is there's so much functionality coming online this year versus 4 years ago. And so Ethereum's DeFi has really opened up a whole world of opportunities. And then with Ethereum opening up so many opportunities, the chain is absolutely congested and outright ridiculously expensive. Which is then, you know, CZ, I got to hand it to him, has come right in. He took the BNB chain and he made a bunch of modifications to it to make a Binance Smart Chain so that then they could compete with Ethereum and they could take projects and DeFi over to the Binance Smart Chain. And there's a lot of integration there. And I wanted to show you. So DeFi Pulse shows us how much total value is locked up in USD on these, you know, in DeFi, at least the ones that they track. So a total of 42.12 billion. What's amazing is this is how quickly things can change. So if you look at beginning of January, there was a total value locked of 0.528. My guess is that's 0.528 billion, which is now 11.5 billion just since a month ago. That is absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know that all this DeFi is going to stay there. I think as better options with Polkadot and Cardano come online, much of that will move over, but it just shows you the pace at which things change and things adapt, especially if you build easy bridges for people to be able to bring stuff over. And the truth is, it's not even too easy to bring things over to the Binance Smart Chain right now. And for all you U.S. investors that are having trouble getting the BNB token, you can get it on Binance.us. Unfortunately, you can't buy things like Venus, and you can't buy stuff that you can get on the Binance exchange if you were outside the U.S. It just is what it is. But if you get BNB from Binance.us, you can then send it to where you need to be able to interact with the Binance Smart Chain. All right, guys, so what to expect later this year and early next year and when to take profits? Well, there's a couple approaches to this, and which one you take, it really depends on your goals. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not even a financial advisor. I'm just an investor myself. So it depends on what I'm doing as to which I do. On the ones that I'm not completely sure on, and it's speculative, there is what's called the little old lady strategy, and the hat tip to DaVinci J15 for this, where you buy a certain coin and you pick it up at whatever price you think is a good pickup, and then you set a sell order for when it doubles, it sells half of what you have. And then when it doubles again, you sell half of what you have. And what it looks like is, say you put $1,000 into something and you follow the little old lady's strategy. Say you buy something and it's $1 per token. We're going to call it the J Murph token. It's $1 per token with a total market cap of $100,000. Say you buy them all at $1 and you buy 1,000 of them. So you put $1,000 into it and you set it so when it doubles, you'll sell half of it, which will get you your initial investment back out. So then the J Murph token does super well and it doubles and you sell half, and so bam, you've got your initial investment back out. So everything above this is profit. So it goes to $2 and you sold it and it doubled, great. So then when it goes to $4, you sell another half of what you have. Now you only have 500 tokens now. So you sell half of what you have, which is 250, and they sell for $4 a piece. So bam, you got another 1,000 back out. But J Murph's token, the timing was just right, and we're now at November of this year, and it's doing phenomenal, and it goes to $8. Well, you only have 250 tokens left, but you had set a sell order to sell half of that, which is 125 tokens, and bam, you got another $1,000 back out. But it keeps running because of all the FOMO and people jumping in, and they're like, hey, that coin looks cheap, I'm going to buy some of that, and bam, it goes to $16, which then your next sell order triggers, and you get another $1,000 out. Do you see how that works? And really, in theory, you never run out of money because you're constantly selling half, and each time it goes up like that, you're compounding your initial return double of what you got. So in this case, your 1,000 turned into 5, and if it keeps going up and up and up, it could be a lot more than 5,000 depending on where it is. Now that's one strategy. I used that a lot during the crypto winter when there was something I thought would have hype, and I would sell it when it doubled. Hence, that's exactly the reason I sold my Theta. Fortunately, I put all of it to sell on a double, and it can be painful too. Did the same with Zilliqa. Now, I did roll that money into other stuff, but I missed out on some massive gains by not following the strategy completely of just selling half each time it doubled. I actually sold all of it when it 2.5x'd. Darn it. So, I did use this on other things during that time, and I thought it was a great strategy for then, but it's not the one I'm using for this year, because I think it would leave too much gains on the table, my guess, for myself. And so what I'm hoping is that a lot of the projects I'm holding on to do more than 10x. And so with that strategy in mind, some of what I'm doing is that if it 10x's from when I acquired it, and I'm hoping it'll do 100x, but I'm pretty sure it'll 10x, some of them I'm setting sell orders that when it 10x's, I sell off 10% of my initial investment. What that's going to do is get me my initial money back out if it 10x's while leaving 90% still in play so that I can catch some bigger upside. Now, it might not hit 100x. That's okay. I can set another sell order that if it hits 25x, I sell maybe 25%. But then I'm still leaving, in this case, 65% in play that if it hits 50x, then I sell off maybe another 15% or something like that. And so I'm able to capture different zones without selling all of it too soon, like the mistakes I made with Theta and Zilliqa. Boy, I wish I had that Theta. Bought it at 7 cents, and when it hit like 16 cents and it sold, it's like, that's amazing. And it did retrace a little bit. I just missed rebuying in. Don't we all wish we could get Theta anywhere near 15 cents or 16 cents these days? Those days are gone. I don't even know in the next crypto winter that Theta will ever come back to that. I just think they've got too much of their functionality coming online that even if they have a pullback, it won't be as severe as the last crypto winter for projects like them. All right. So when am I going to really start seriously looking at taking profits? Now, we're in February. I expect this year is going to be great, and it is a great year for it to rain some really big gains on us. So I'm not too serious about taking profits out yet. In fact, it's not high on my priorities. When I hit certain metrics for my own situation, I'll probably just pull out some just to be smart. But it's not high on my priorities till I see what's going on July, August, September, November. And I'm going to be making real decisions on how to start taking some profits just to hedge my risk that the bull run doesn't last as long as I think it will. Now, what do I think it'll do? Still February. It's really early to tell, but I think we might be in a super cycle. I do know real estate, which I followed really closely for 20 years, and I know like the back of my hand. I've done just about every aspect of it. So it's at a massive super cycle, and some of the markets I watch, like Phoenix and California, man, the prices should have turned around long before now. And they've continued to pump because so much stimulus money and so much money is being pumped by the Fed into the economy to try to keep it afloat. So someday that bubble will pop and things will reverse. But it's created a super cycle, an overinflated, overhyped, overexpensive market that someday will come down to reality. And so what happens when they keep pumping money in like that is it makes the bubble even bigger, but it keeps it alive longer. And a lot of the stimulus money ends up in crypto directly or indirectly. For example, the Fed has been making some decisions that they didn't used to make, that they've been pumping money not only into bonds but directly into the stock market. So what that has done is overinflated the stock market. What's funny now is some of these companies that are flush with cash, what are they looking at doing? Buying Bitcoin. So I do think that this cycle will be probably longer and more severe than normal as far as increases. And when it pops, it might catch us all by surprise and it might have a tragic reversal on a lot of things. Now, some of the projects that really hit on their functionality and become more a part of everyday life, they won't see the retracements of 99.5% that some things did, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some pretty hefty retracements in the year to 2 years following whenever this bubble starts heading downwards. Now, if it were a regular cycle, I would think that, Bitcoin would peak somewhere around November or December, and that the altcoins would peak somewhere around January to February. What to expect this cycle? I don't know. If it's normal and not a super cycle, probably around that same timing. If it's a super cycle, everything might go on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months longer than it should, and maybe even 5x gains higher than what the top should have been. So we'll see. I mean, we're all anxiously awaiting how this thing plays out. I hope this year has been very good to you so far. Since January, the market has absolutely taken off, so I hope you're seeing some really big gains and that they're just raining down on you every day. I hope, that you've got some diversity too, because not everything hits at the same time. I remember when I first started in crypto, I picked one coin and I thought, okay, this is going to go absolutely to the moon, and I wasn't diversified. And so I watched everything take off around it, and it was so hard and so frustrating. So now I'm well diversified, and it gets me excited because I can look at it and I can be like, oh my gosh, everything's doing bad but Bitcoin. Hey, I've got Bitcoin, that's awesome. Or Bitcoin's doing absolutely terrible, but all these altcoins, these ones are doing great and these ones are doing terrible, but hey, these ones are doing great. And it really helps with the emotional swings when you have lots of different things rather than just all your hopes, fears, and dreams on just one of them. I want to thank every one of you who has subscribed. You're really helping me towards my end goal of having a big subscriber base so that when I reach out to the teams, such as Orion Protocol, they will come on and do an AMA with us and answer not only my questions, but your questions. And I'm really looking forward to that. Many of you have subscribed already. Thank you, and you're helping me get there. So I really appreciate it. And if you like the content you're getting, if you would press that like button, it really, really helps me with the end goal of being able to reach a lot of people. If you notice, I just try to keep it real. I'm not an expert that knows everything. I've been an investor for a long time. I have learned to think like an investor, but I'm only 4 years into crypto, and I still have some really good gains, and I've done really well on some things, and every once in a while, there's just things I miss. I try to be open with you all, so if you're thinking you want to follow somebody who's absolutely perfect, that is not me. I'm not perfect. I'm a flawed human being who makes some good guesses. And I've done well for myself. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will see you all soon. Bye.